probably been through like 10 cars in 3 years. It's like, okay, this isn't real happiness.
You start to realize you make a little more money, it's not going to change your life. Honestly, it may bring you a little more stress depending on where you're at.
To the point, like my daughter comes in the morning and she'll hand me my phone. At that point, when I saw that, I said, that's disgusting.
Welcome back to the Real Deal Podcast with Allan and Andrew. We got a special guest today. San Antonio native, an entrepreneur, founder, father, husband, serial entrepreneur. He's got a couple things going on. And I've actually known this man for, 15 years.
16 years. So
How long have I known you? Since 20?
about
Since I was
12
20.
years. So.
Yeah, 12 years.
All right, Mr. Bernardo Baxter in the building. Mr. SipIT. How you feeling?
Good.
Welcome.
Good. Can't complain.
Yeah. Part of the game, like to explain to everybody kind of what you do, why, like how did you get here on this chair? You know, what's your journey been like to get here today? So how did you start out? What do you do today?
Cool. So today, I think the biggest thing y'all probably know about is SipIT. So we've been blessed enough to grow to about 18, 19 locations.
Yes, sir.
We have 2 in the works with new brownfields in Dallas. We're expanding to the Dallas market.
Kyle location.
Oh yeah, Kyle too.
Oh, Kyle, that's a
Kyle
good one.
SipIT.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we have Kyle opening on April 11th at noon.
April 11th. Y'all click this link right here and come check it out.
Yeah, so we're expanding, we're growing, so very blessed, but with that also comes stress. And so
the stress.
yeah, just trying to balance it all. So
yeah, cool. So serial entrepreneur, owns WingIT, owns SipIT. How long has SipIT been around?
say about 6 years.
6 years.
So
And now you have a daughter. How old is she?
1.
I'm acting like I don't know, but y'all don't know, so I'm acting like I don't
Biggest
know. So
1-year-old
y'all
in
can
the city.
Has it changed? Has it changed your life?
Oh, for sure. It's definitely about balance now. I used to be able to just work, maybe get a second workout in. Now we're lucky enough to just get one workout in. So.
Does it make you more focused? Or does
Yeah,
having a
well,
daughter
lets me, I think now these last couple months kind of open my eyes to what's actually more important, you know.
Mhm.
I think before, like this time last year, just grow, rat race, you know, chase the money.
Mhm.
And now it's like I have a very simple wife and like, it's like she doesn't want anything like that. So it's like they want our time, you know, so.
For sure.
I think the biggest thing that I love, because Bernardo is actually one of my best friends, that I have a son who's 10, going on 45. And, you know, over the years, I'm doing stuff with London and I'm like, you know, I got to do this, got to do that. And you're just like, all right, I'm going to the gym. All right, I'm going to wherever. I'm going on a plane. Now it's like your life has completely changed. Like,
Yeah, I always bring up this conversation. I was talking to one of my friends at Lifetime like about a year ago before Sky was born, and he was like, I wouldn't know what to do without kids, you know, with all that time. And then now it hits me. It's like, okay, I know exactly what he was talking about. Like,
but it's like, I wouldn't even want that old life anymore.
You don't realize how much extra time you have, though, without a family.
Oh, that's true.
So it's like...
And the thing is, like, people without kids, like, I remember hearing you say, oh, I'm just busy. I'm tired. I'm like, bro, you don't know what tired is.
You don't know. Exactly.
You know, it's like you see people without kids, like, that have one job, like, and they're complaining. You're like, what?
Try 3. Try 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
And that's what I tell my wife now. She'll be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, I've been, you know, with Sky all day. And then we'll kind of reset and we'll be like, yeah, but you are blessed to not have to work or anything right now. So I feel like look at those other people and those other wives that do have to work, you know?
Hey, bro, I just got in trouble on that conversation. And I had to talk to another lady about it, but that's a tough road to go down, and we might have to bring a woman in on that one. But no,
it is a job.
It is tough because I said I could do that job, but
and I'm not saying it's easy.
I can't do it. But
by any means, because there's time where I watch her for 3 hours and I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely a full-time job, but I think that's why we had that discussion. It's like, yes, you're going to still be a real estate professional, but I want your focus to be on, you know, growing our family and stuff. And she likes that role because, like me being a high performer and high-level entrepreneur, it's like I feel like at home I need that stability. You know, I need somebody to hold it down and kind of be there, running the show.
That's really important. I think that's something, a real thing that people need to focus on is perspective. I think that's one
Mhm.
of the most important things that we don't have in our day-to-day activity because we're just so, tunnel vision in our lives. We don't see the outside. It's like sometimes we don't really realize like how good we really have it.
Mhm.
Like, man, like imagine if we were growing up 100 years ago and the hardships that we'd have to have.
Yeah,
Or think about there's people out there with 5 kids and no partner.
exactly.
It's like, man,
No,
I
kudos
was
to all those mothers out
the
there, those single
single
parents, like,
parents.
For sure.
it's
Man,
not easy.
it's
Like,
not
it's hard
easy.
with being in a committed, relationship with both parents in the household. I can only
Yeah.
imagine, like, having to raise a child on your own and
Yeah,
work.
for
So,
sure.
um,
And then, I mean, it's not easy to like gas. I don't know how much gas is, but gas is expensive.
funny,
So
Suburban
I
costs
stopped I
$90.
actually stopped looking at the price of
I
gas
stopped.
until
It's
recently.
depressing.
No, like, I never like, not to flex or anything, but it's like I would just fill up, and
I
then these
wasn't gonna
last
say
2
that,
weeks,
but
I was like I, like, I'm like, "Oh,
Imma give
snap,
y'all
like, it
a
is
quick
real out here."
Yeah.
Imma give y'all
So
a quick gem, and I was meaning to tell you the other day. Download the Circle K app, and let's say gas is what is it right now? $3.70. They'll give you 25 cents off per gallon, like 25 cents off. So
Okay,
if it says
Mr.
3 cent,
Couponer over
if
there,
it
I
says
got you.
Okay.
$3.70, you're paying $3.50.
He's got 3 kids. He knows the
Man,
Yeah, you got
listen,
coupons, the
that
deals, the
that's and
specials.
I was stuck over there. We're in Baverde after golf, and I was like, man, there's no Circle K, so I paid $90 something to fill up my tank yesterday. So
Bro, I feel like this is kind of how life can go sometimes, but I feel like I remember putting $7 in my gas tank. Like, 7,
Yeah.
$15, and then a 20. That was nice when I was 20 on 5. But now I haven't looked at gas price in years. Like, I don't know what gas costs,
I think it's
but
one of those things where I
it's
know you
perspective.
have to do it, so I just
it
do
doesn't
it,
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Man, look,
I
everybody, no
can't get
matter where you're at in life, we worrying about these gas prices.
No, but yeah, it's I can't get to here. I can't get
You
to the money
there,
without
right?
gas. Like
For
yeah.
sure.
it, so wherever I can get it the quickest, I want to get it and get going to my destination. Like I'm not gonna sit here and look at the letters. $3.29. Let me go down here. It's 2 cents cheaper. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Man, one thing I wanted to ask Bernardo was, and by the way, I always say, but I call you Bernardo like
Yeah,
I say Bernardo,
too
Barlow.
damn
I
much.
do it to you. I'll
Yeah.
probably say Barlow first.
My mom does that,
But
so
but man, in college, he was my roommate, by the way. Uh Actually, you probably were the first entrepreneur then. I just thought about that
yeah.
because what you were doing when we were in college, like what led you to do what you were doing? You could tell them
It's
what you were
funny, one of
doing.
my close friends contacted me the other day, he was like, "Bro, have you ever, like, had to work a 9 to 5?" And I was like, "I've been blessed to where I really haven't."
Yeah.
So, like, not a lot of people can say
Bro,
that,
you were a ref for real.
He
I wish
was
we
a
could get a
ref.
picture of you as a zebra.
But
Yeah, I worked at Waterbury for about 6 months and then did that, but besides that, I'm 36 now, and it's like, I've been blessed to be able to carry my own weight,
Yeah.
and you were
for
one of the
that
top
long.
club promoters in college
Yeah.
while you were getting your degree.
So that's how I kinda got started
Oh,
in
yeah.
business,
I
so
was counting them, helping
yeah.
you count your money. That
So, yeah, we
sounds
can
so
jump into
lit.
that if y'all want, so
No, talk about it.
Yeah, bro, so how did you find inspiration? Like, you know, I remember in college when I first met you. You remember when you first met me?
yeah.
But, it's funny because, like, however I remember we met in orientation, and then, you had tattoos, and, like, no one I was around had tattoos. I'm like, "Who's this fool with all these tattoos on his arm?" But then it was like, whatever, and then, like, we were inseparable, like, it was cool, like, we built that bond, and it was but, you know, from class to, we did football together, and then promoting, like, throughout the journey, like, I like Allan was saying, like, we always saw you kinda be disciplined in whatever you did, like, where did that come from? Like, what made you have that drive to, like, "I'm gonna handle my stuff"?
Things being around knuckleheads growing up that didn't have it,
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to be cool, but I knew you couldn't be too cool without having discipline, so it's kind of a deciding factor. I was like, I can still be that cool guy, but have that discipline and get to where I want to be. So
Mhm.
it's really, just seeing it around me and seeing where discipline doesn't get you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I turned on that light. Thing going into college, again, I had other friends that were at bigger colleges, and then they transitioned to the league and stuff. And it's like, okay, they're on this next level with this discipline. It's like that's a common thing. It's like
Yep.
discipline, I need to turn that on to get to that level. So it's kind of how that came about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, even you were even dang, when I look back on it, yeah, you had your Mustang, but you weren't buying shoes, you weren't buying all these fancy
Bro, what are
clothes.
you talking about? He had that Dillard's card.
To what?
I remember
Buy
going
what though? Like some tanks?
Bro, I was about to
No,
come in
bro.
here in a SipIT and some shorts, but Barlow told me I couldn't.
But literally, I just remember you saved a lot of that money,
Yeah.
which probably for everyone that doesn't know, he threw like some of the biggest parties when we were at UTSA.
So
Even
that's how
the
I got
Greeks.
money to even
Yes,
start a business.
yes.
Bro, I
So
remember when you had it was like $11,000. But you thought you were rich. You were like, "Bro, I got
well,
$11,000."
I'm 19 with $11,000.
$1,000.
Let's keep
Yeah.
it that. So it's like,
But then
again,
at 21, you had like 70 grand in the bank.
so yeah, that people ask all the time how I got capital to even start a business. And basically, when I entered in college, I wasn't a big standout in high school. I didn't really have that popularity side of me. I was kind of just there. So
He
no,
was
honestly,
skinny. He wasn't
yeah.
swole.
So I got to
Can we get a
college,
picture on here?
Bro, y'all gotta see what he looked
I
like.
got to college and I was like, okay, like some stuff got to change. You know what I mean? Like I don't like being that guy behind the scenes. So,
Bro,
so honestly, I mean,
biggest
yeah, no.
transformation.
Anybody that see me in high school, they're blowing me up now, like trying to have a meeting with me and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they see it. They're like, dang, how did Bernardo become like that number one dude in his class to like make it in anything? So it's like, because I was completely different. So yeah, long story short, I got to college, like a switch changed, and I was like, you know what? Like I gotta turn it up. So I became super, super popular, like somehow to the extreme to where I feel like I was kind of running the campus without being in a fraternity, without being on
Yeah.
that, college team or anything like that. So it got to the point where the school, I would start throwing parties for the school. So I remember a club owner called me. He's like, "Hey, I see you have a lot of people that know you. Can you come host an event at my club?" And I was like, "Yeah, like how much?" He's like, "I'll give you $500." So I'm like 17,
500.
18. I was like, "You gonna give me $500 to go to a club, go out?" Like, heck yeah, I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's called Posh for all y'all that know about
Man,
Posh,
all the
some
San
Broadway.
Antonians, y'all know Posh.
Posh.
So I remember I did a Thursday night college night. It was hosted by me. Just the plain Jane Bernardo straight out of, Madison High School hosting the whole club. So I packed it out. So, end of the night came. I had a great time. He gave me the $500. I remember I went home. I told bro, I was like, "Dang, bro, like I spent $500." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, shit, do it again." So, long story short, I worked with this owner, over a couple months, and I saw he was paying me. And then one day I was like, "You know what? I'm not gonna party tonight. I'm gonna sit and watch how much he's making."
Yeah, because I
Cause
think we would have those Four Locos
yeah,
and
I'm not gonna
probably
drink a Four
couldn't.
Loko tonight. I'm just gonna chill. So I was standing by the door, and I think Barlow was with me. Here, like, okay, if he's paying me $500, how much is he making? So we sat there the whole night, and it's $10 a head. Boom, boom, boom. So next thing you know, we had like 300, 400, 500 people in there. So I was like, okay, he just made $5,000 off of me. I'd give Bernardo $500 too. So then a switch, kind of clicked, and then I went back, and then I ended up transferring to UTSA, and I was like, you know what? I told Andrew, I was like, I'm going to start renting out ballrooms. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, these owners are making $5,000 off of me. What if I rent out a ballroom for $1,000 and do my own thing?
Bro, I remember this.
So that's kind of how that happened. I started renting out ballrooms for like $1,000, and I would start it being 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and before you know it, y'all both been to the parties. I had 3,000 people,
Mhm.
4,000 people. So
I
y'all do the
remember,
I
math.
was big
the first moment I was like, because again, like, there in the beginning, like before this started, and then I remember like the first time I was like, "Oh shit, Bernardo like did this." But we went to you rented out Club Rio, I think at the time, and like Migos was there, and then like so they bring us through side entrance, and then like, I think it was Versace. The song was
And I
just
think it goes
coming.
back to the thing too, like one of the things that motivated me, I saw like when I first met Barlow, he had a convertible. He ain't gonna tell you that. He had a Mustang convertible, but he also came from a private school. So
Hey,
it's a
bro.
completely different life than what I was living on the Northeast side. So it's like I saw it, I was like, okay, how can I make money? My parents can't give me money. Like I had another buddy, his parents were really well off. His whole dorm room was decked out.
And we were
You know?
driving around in Clifford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he had a big Tonka truck, lifted all that at
I know you're
18,
talking.
so it's like, I was like, okay, so how can I make some money? And then also, so I got blessed to have that gig and start throwing events for the different clubs, and then I started doing it on my own. So like I said, it got to the point where I was getting 3, 4, 5,000 people in there at $10 a head. And the people
We
is I was 20 years old making that type of money, well, at least once a month. So I like to say that like I was the only promoter that kind of invested and saved all that money, because all the people that were promoting at the same time I was aren't really doing anything, now.
Yeah.
So
Well, some of them are still doing it.
yeah, or some are still promoting.
Wow.
So yeah, long story short, I take that cash, saved it over my last 2 years of college, and then I remember I was about to graduate, and I was like, what can I do with my popularity while I still have it? And then that's when I met my partner Daryl, and I was like, you know what? He's doing a wing truck in Houston. You can't mess up wings. Little do you know you could.
Yep.
You
So,
can mess up wings.
so yeah, I took, I think I had like 15 saved up. It's coming on my senior year, and I was like, I went and bought a food truck. So since we bought that food truck, again, being a person I was at UTSA, I was one of the first food trucks over there. So I was able to bless it and still have that following. I came up with wing recipes with my friend Kenneth in his house, and
JP.
yeah, JP, John Belvin Coffee, shout out to them. And then we opened up my first food truck called Countdown Wings. So we opened that up. Probably operated about 2 to 3 years. It started doing well, so we found an old dug up spot, and Daryl told the story about $700 rent, and then we took that leap of faith and opened up in the middle of Kirby, Texas, my first business, which was a WingIT restaurant. So
The
Man.
wings from the old Countdown wings are fire. Do you remember them?
no,
Oh, I was in love with those
Man.
we've
wings, man.
evolved so much. I was like,
I don't think they understand, man. We went to a Q party. We pulled up like we were the Qs.
yeah. Bro,
Like
I had so much popularity. Like
we
they thought I was the frat, and I
Kenneth
wasn't in
said,
one. I was throwing parties for the frat without being in the
hold
frat.
up. We gotta tell this real quick. Kenneth said at the front of the line, "Yeah, I'm a Q." Bro, you remember that? This dude Kenneth told them he was a Q, and bro, we had to like, whoa, no, it started a little commotion, but it was funny, bro. That's how big it was. We thought we were Qs at the time,
Yeah, I
like,
don't think to this date nobody's throwing events like I have.
yeah,
And like y'all can challenge me on that, but I'm
bro,
like I'm talking about 3, 4, 5,000 people once a month. So
yeah.
yeah, that was a game changer and life changing, experience for me. And that's kind of how I got the capital to even jump in business and start the first business Wing It. So,
That's good.
That's fire. What are like some of the takeaways? Like you started a business with not a lot of capital. You had, you know, enough to get it going, but like what is your advice to people that maybe they don't have enough? Like would you recommend that they still take the leap or kind of wait till they have more money? Like what was your experience like doing it that way?
I mean, you need money to start a business at the end of the day, it's the harsh reality of it. So that's a tough one, you know?
15,000
Yeah.
though, that back then was a good amount of money,
Yeah.
dog.
But I
Yeah,
also started a food truck,
yeah,
it
you
wasn't like
smart.
a high dollar
Yeah.
business. So if you don't have the capital, ask friends. Like I tell people with the first SipIT, like I only had $70,000. One of my close friends loaned me the rest of the money.
Mhm.
He's like, I see what you're doing at these parties. I know you're about business.
Mhm.
Here's another $30,000.
Mhm.
Just pay me back. Off of just being a friendship. So I'm very
Mhm.
grateful for him, and that's kind of how I've got the money to start the first SipIT location. So ask your friends. Have good
Yeah.
friends.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that. That is great.
So
No, that is great because I mean, why do you have these people in your life if they're not, sharing in your vision?
yeah.
Like you need people that are gonna get alongside of you and take the journey with you. So
And
And
I
he
love
didn't
that.
have to. He didn't have to do. He knew it was a startup and everything, but he knew me and he knew how I operated and
Right.
ran. my club business. He knew I was about my money, so he kind of gave it to me without any hesitation.
Mhm.
So if your friends aren't lending you 30,000, most likely you're not disciplined. If they got it and they're not giving it to you, that
Yeah.
means they don't see.
Yeah, so
He
you
was
have
disciplined. So don't get upset
that is
because
character
your
is
friends didn't lend
everything.
you
Yeah.
30, 10, 5,000.
Character is everything.
And if
and
you
I
don't
can't-
pay
yeah.
people back, don't ask for $5,000. Like,
Yeah, we know those guys.
So
So,
yeah. So
yeah, so
I think something that's important too is like always repay your debts, right? Because
yeah.
it's like I don't care who you are, like as much as you want to scale, right? Like so, you may need 5,000 at 20 or whatever, or 30,000, but by the time you get to 35, you're on a bigger project. You may need 250,000, but
Mhm.
if you didn't pay back that 5,000, your reputation is shit, and you're
Yeah.
without a reputation, you
Yeah.
can't build anything.
And that's how I come across just anybody I meet. I was like, you never know, when they may be able to help you in business or anything. So it's
Yes.
like, treat everybody good,
Yeah.
be polite, like, have some good character.
Yeah.
Because again, if I wasn't a good person with, my friend, like, he wouldn't have loaned me that money.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I think you brought up something that is great for our audience. I think we all deal with it. Whether you're a business owner, mom, dad, stay at home, is the stress of it all. And I think, we have this conversation so frequently is just there's this grind and there's this struggle and like we want to get these cars and these houses and all these things. Then you get it and it's like, shit, I was just as happy in the Camry,
yeah,
in the apartment,
yeah.
So what have you kind of learned on this journey of, now life is a little different. We don't have to, you're not checking gas prices, but,
Mhm.
you know, what has that kind of taught you from, going from zero to hero?
I think just like starting out with my first business, WingIT, we were making maybe 30,000, 40,000 a year, and I was all right. And then SipIT happened, and we blew up literally overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a life-changing business for me. And then as soon as that happened, I didn't know anything about taxes, on your profits. I didn't know anything about,
Yeah.
anything like that. So just blowing up that quickly and getting that amount of capital in that short amount of time is just definitely something they don't teach you. Like,
Mhm.
so I feel for like the ball players and stuff, like they're kids and they go get these $1 million contracts and it's like, yeah, they don't,
You don't
it's
know
like
what to
they
do.
don't know you get all this reward so fast and it's like you don't know what to do but act
Yeah.
a fool, really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that was at. So one thing I've learned from that is, I mean, again, I was blessed enough. I got the house I wanted, got all the cars. I've probably been through like 10 cars in 3 years. Like, and that's one thing me and Andrew talk about all the time. It's like, okay, this isn't real happiness. We're blessed to have touched
Mm-hmm.
these materialistic items. But again, what is your happiness? We
Mhm.
talk about everybody's happiness is different. And I think one thing for me is just being able to be free, being able to travel. I share the story all the time. Like, one of my proudest couple years of my life was when I shared an apartment with somebody that's 20 years older than me. I had a $500 rent, but I was on a plane literally every single weekend.
Mhm.
And I was just seeing the world and traveling, not making a lot of money, but I had very minimal expenses,
Right.
So
not,
it's like you weren't making a lot of money per se, but you were making a lot of like life capital, like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
experiences that
exactly.
you're living was
Yeah,
like you were living
Right.
well.
we had a 2-bedroom
You
apartment, like I said, a $500 rent. I didn't even have a TV in there. I was living
Mhm.
very simplistic, one vehicle,
yeah,
but I was gone every weekend.
Mhm.
Like, so that was one of the happiest moments of my life. And that's kind of what we're trying to get back to as a family now. It's like, okay, we don't necessarily need or want none of these material items
Mhm.
anymore. We just want to be free. I feel like
right.
the real wealth now is just that time and freedom. So,
Absolutely.
You got into a point where you realized your identity isn't wrapped around the materialistic items.
Absolutely.
So,
but I
and
think
that's
that's
huge.
part of like growing up with
Yes.
nothing. Like, I feel like we've all came from nothing, and it's like you see Instagram and everything's like, oh, you want this car, this house, but it's like, is that true happiness?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's just like do you think it's cultural? But I feel like before Instagram, before anything, I remember
I mean,
looking
you
at
had MTV videos.
it
That's
was
what they
MTV.
showed. So
I
it's
remember
like,
looking at the Rob Report magazine. I'm looking at the cars and like the
yeah,
Escalade came out. I was like, I gotta get an
yeah,
Escalade. Like,
Songs about the Escalade.
the Corvette was like,
yeah,
we
yeah,
had to get it.
yeah.
Like, so it's been around since we were kids. Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
But
even
that's what you're programmed to be, a
yes,
consumer.
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
So that's where I'm trying to unprogram myself now. And I just want to share that side of the story because, like, none of us are perfect. So
Mhm.
just really learning about, what's more important in my life now is more time with my wife, time with my daughter, things like that. So y'all gonna have
Dang.
the cars
Yeah.
and the
No,
houses.
take 'em back.
So,
So both of y'all have kids, girls, wives, and are trying to, balance this full-time, workload as well. What kinda helps y'all and I'm sorry, I don't believe there's a perfect balance at all, but what kinda helps y'all maintain some sort of structure to where you are present with the family and giving them the time that they need and giving yourself the time that you need? Because one thing I realize, I recharge way more when I actually get to just lock in with my son and coach basketball and,
mhm.
Mhm.
you know, go swimming or, catch a movie on a date night or something like that. So it actually recharges me, but it's hard sometimes because you got this going on, this problem, this person needs that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this deal closed. So how do y'all maintain that, structure to give yourself and your family that time?
I feel, it goes back to I have a good business partner and I have a good partner at
Shoot.
home.
Yeah.
So, remember the other day,
I don't think people understand the importance of having a good partner at home. Like
Mm,
that's
that is one of the
it's
biggest things that's helped me blossom.
for
Like
sure.
yeah.
I tell people all the time, I wish y'all could feel what I feel. Like
Nah,
I
having a
got a golden doodle at home and he's just freeloading. Like I tried to get him to contribute. Didn't even give me, like, none of his food, You
pooped
just
on the
free
floor. Every time I'm on the phone with him, "Let me call you back."
Yeah.
But, the other was it last weekend, there was something on Friday we had and something on Saturday we had, and me and we're like, "Man, let's just divide and conquer." So it's like having that good whether it's
Support
business
system.
partner or partner at home is, like,
Mhm.
important.
yeah.
And, so
Yeah, I
that
think you
helps
guys
me.
are very blessed. Both of y'all's wives are incredible. So shout out to them. But yeah, that's very strong and what a blessing to have.
Yeah, like you said, business partners and stuff. One thing I've learned this year is really I'm a bit of a control freak. So you call me all the time, you're like,
He
I mean,
said it.
Andrew owns several SipITs, and so he'll call me and he's like, "Why are you talking to my managers?" I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" But he's looking out for me. He's like, "You tell me you're stressed and you're tired of communicating with 20 different people every day. I'm taking that off of your load, but you're still reaching out to them. Like, what are you doing?" So it's like a lot of times I have to check myself. I'm like, "You're right. Like, I have Andrew as an owner of some SipITs. I have these things in place. Like, I need to allow them to do what they do." And not try to overstep boundaries. So it's really just having those people and delegating those things and
That's a good
growing
business
that way.
partner right there. To
Yeah,
hold
no,
you
for sure.
accountable, knowing who you are,
Yeah.
and to say that, that means, hey, listen, aside from your feelings, your emotions, you need to hear this.
Yeah.
And he is good at that, addressing those
The elephants in
the
the room.
elephants in the
Yeah.
room.
So
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that, gentlemen.
What about you? Coming from you have a you're single, you have a son, you have multiple businesses. What helps you?
God.
Because we're speaking from that too. Oh God.
Man, I struggle with it honestly. I'm trying to get better. I think you know, we didn't have the guidance that a lot of people had, so we're still trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
And I think we've been blessed to have each other as we go and we grow. So we kind of, if Bernardo's going through something, he's telling me and trying to help me avoid that pitfall and kind of guide me in that way. So I listen to him, and I have Dailies. You've been married for a while. I just have great friends.
that goes
You know,
back, I think, to you are who you hang around. I think that's big. As I get older, that's big, big, big.
hmm
Like
Mhm.
we're able to push ideas off each other all the time and learn
hmm
from each other because
hmm
we're growing and going through these pains at the same time. So
yeah.
I definitely think that's a big thing a big quote that you hear that should be followed. Hang
hmm
around good people. People are doing it what you want to do, and that way you can grow with them. So
Right.
I think one thing that's huge too is not being afraid to pivot. We all have goals and we all have these things that we're chasing, but as we're growing, we're evolving and the targets are changing. I think
Mhm.
had you have asked me personally, like 10 years ago, where do you want to be? I want to get $100 million. Like, and now I'm like, for what? Like,
yeah,
I
now
want to,
what? And then what?
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, you have to give yourself the room to change. And I feel at this age, I'm changing and evolving at a more of a rapid pace than I was when I was going through puberty. Like, it's just constant, like, and it's it's good. I feel like more peaceful and, you know, I think as you get a little older too, you know, you start to realize you make a little more money, it's not gonna change your life. You know, honestly, it may bring you a little more stress depending on
Yeah.
where you're at.
Yeah.
So the thing that you're gonna have with money or without money is your relationships,
Mhm.
and that is the most valuable thing in the world.
For sure.
Is
Exactly.
just the people that you have around you because, you know, we can be at the beach together or we can be in the hospital bed
Yeah.
together, but we're still that love is there, and that can't be taken away from a recession or a presidency or you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So just really figuring out where value is. And honestly, like something that's so cool is I don't know if y'all ever have like a slow morning where you just don't get on the phone first thing as you wake up and you just take your time and just, you know, man, like listen to the birds chirp at your house or go walk on the grass. Like, man, that's like game changing for me.
See, I don't have those slow mornings, but we've been having that book club, and I have slower nights.
Yeah.
My nights are where I get to kind of sit there and
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Stop
sleep.
texting me at night, by the way,
Oh,
too, man.
me
Bro, I
too.
hate that.
I'm up. I work late.
My partner will like text me at like 9 or
He
I'm
texts me
like,
at 9. It's like 9:23 every
I'm
day.
gonna do
I
what are
think
you
I
doing?
text you at 11.
Bro, yes.
But
I'm
now
asleep.
iPhone has schedule. You can
Yeah,
schedule your
yeah, use
message.
that
So now
schedule
I'm like,
feature for sure.
and then he's up. He's up responding to something I scheduled last
Yeah.
night. And I'm like, huh? but no, for sure. Now, it's good to see Bernardo. Like I said, I was his college roommate days when I used to be playing video games.
And I'll
And
be on
then
your ass.
yeah. I mean,
No,
yeah,
share that.
yeah.
Share like I think that's a good thing, like our experience as roommates. Like
Yeah, I mean, this is why I said it's great to have him on the podcast because I saw him. So I was an engineering major. All I knew was go get a degree that's going to give you this good job after you graduate. So I was chasing this engineering degree, but I'm sitting next to him. I think you were a criminal justice major.
yeah.
But while you were doing that, you were
Officer
also
Baxter.
officer. While he was doing that, I was literally watching you make money, like a different way. And so, being around that, you don't realize from our parents, from my dad, he was in real estate. He still is, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that at a young age. All those things shape you. So being around you, watching your drive and seeing how you were, I'm sure where I'm at today plays some type of role. And man, he was good at balancing his life back then. He worked out, he made money,
And still partied.
party, went to school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I would
always share that story. Like, I went in with a group of guys, and I love these guys to death, but it was like 10 of us. And I
In
was the
one
only one
room.
that graduated on time.
Yeah, I was on a 6 year. Yeah, I did 6 year.
But you get what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
feel like that's one to speak about in itself. Is like, not only could I host the parties, run the parties,
oh, you
I
did.
still got my schoolwork done and still finish on time. Like, nobody that went into the college that did that.
Yeah,
So it was like, it just shows balance, man. You have to be disciplined in anything
for
in life.
sure.
And I
oh
think
my
that's what's carried
gosh.
me to the point now.
You helped
Man.
me gain 20 pounds, bro.
I made you go work out.
Man, we was working out, eating, working out, eating, working out, eating, working out, eating. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
So,
He's always been pretty disciplined. And then I met Barlow through you, so now it makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? So two very disciplined. I'm not saying that I'm not disciplined. I was disciplined in video games and at school. That was it. But yeah, it's good to see like where we've come from.
So, question, you said 36, so if you were looking back at your 20-year-old self, like, would you think both of y'all would be in this position?
I think that's what we talked about the other day too, is like we prayed and drew on spiral notebook
Mhm.
papers on stuff that we have now, and now we're just getting it multiple times and stuff. Like, it's nothing. Like, no, I would never
Yeah,
even thought
yeah,
it'd be. And that's why I think you kind of tell me all the time too, is like, focus on now, enjoy the moment, because we're somewhere where we've never thought we could be.
yeah.
So
Man, I knew I would be somewhere. I just didn't know the route. Like
I
I
thought
said,
I
I
was
was
gonna be a cop making $50,000 a year.
yeah. I thought I was gonna be an engineer making 100+ grand. You know what I mean?
So,
And man, like until you do, I did an internship with TexDot, and it was just like this ain't it. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like, so I knew I would get somewhere. I just didn't know how the route.
That's pretty cool because both of y'all had this plan, and then y'all had to go through it a little bit to realize this ain't where I'm supposed to be.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's kinda cool.
yeah,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
then
I remember working at Olive Garden, and I knew that wasn't it. I was the worst server ever. Yeah, I'm sorry for anyone that came through there.
yeah, man.
I remember even growing up with you, like you'd be at the call center, like, while we were in college and you still were working like 10 or 12 hours though. And I never told you that, but I think that's one of the things that motivated me well too. It's like, yeah, Barlow's making good money, but he's also trading his time for money.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the things that opened my eyes too, is like, how can I make it without trading all this time for money? And so, that's kind of a thing that helped me in my journey as well.
And where we just came from, the guy said today, he said, everybody isn't designed mentally to be an entrepreneur. So everybody has a different route to get to a certain place. Like what's the cash flow? You can be the janitor, you can be this, you can be that, and all of them can still get out of a rat race.
hmm
So it goes back to the beginning portion. You started experiencing cars in college, bro. You had a Mustang 5.0, looked all nice, so you were able to
At
get
18.
out of that.
The Buick was my favorite.
So it's like, regardless wherever you're at or whatever journey you're taking, I mean, whether you're an entrepreneur, engineer, whether you're a teacher, football coach, man, if you discipline is a huge thing. If y'all didn't hear anything, these two guys have always been disciplined. I mean, uh, and that's what's going to get you to where you want to be, I feel. Whether it is taking this journey's different. It's not meant
Yeah.
for everybody.
And that's one thing I feel we should touch on as well. Like a lot of social media is like be an entrepreneur. But like you said, there's nothing wrong with having that 9 to 5. There's
At
nothing
all.
wrong with earning that honest income. So you don't need to get on your phone. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but it's not easy.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
I
easy
think
at
the
all.
reason that everyone's
So,
doing that is like because they're just trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you a course. They're trying to get you involved in their Amazon
yeah.
drop shipping business, selling fur babies. Like, so
And it's
that's
like,
why
if you're
it's so
doing that
pushed.
well, why are you trying to sell me that?
Exactly.
Man.
Like, you should be on the Bahamas, not making videos trying to sell me shit. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Man.
Like, especially in the real estate business, I see it all the time. Like, buy my course, buy my course. Well, why aren't you doing this if it works?
And I
Like,
get it. You can make extra income that way, but it's like also like I personally want to give out free game. Like that's all my social media about is
yes.
free game.
Yeah,
Lessons that I've been through that I don't want the next person to have to go through.
for sure.
And that's kind of my fulfillment on my personal page. So
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. I think Eric Thomas, I used to listen to his podcast religiously.
E.T.
He said freedom, right? So people get into entrepreneurship for freedom, right? You're not always free. You can still have a 9 to 5 and have freedom. Like if your job where you're at allows you to say, hey, I'm taking tomorrow off. My daughter has a graduation in the morning, and they allow you, that's still freedom. Because
yeah,
at the
Well, I
same,
think
same time,
you can have equal freedom, like either way you go.
right.
I mean, sometimes I do wish, like, I'm like, man, because like, I think that's the other side is like people don't understand is like this thing does not turn off. Like,
yeah.
we get mad at each other because we call each other disgusting. When we go to hang out, I'm like, bro, put your damn phone
Like
down.
I see me and him, and he sees him and me. Like, and it's like
No,
it
he's
takes a
disgusting.
Yeah.
it's like, damn, you're always in your phone. Like your phone's always going off, and then I'll be next to him, like, damn, that's what I look like, and
Yeah.
it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Man,
Like
you
it's to
told
the
me
point, like my daughter comes in the morning and she'll hand me my phone.
Oh, yeah, that's.
At that point, when I saw that, I said, "That's disgusting. Like
The
some shit gotta
daughters,
change."
every
My
man needs a
daughter's
daughter.
one.
They will check you, bro. My daughter said, you're always on your phone. He told me, hey, man, when we were in the podcast, last podcast, I think, it's like, man, you're on your phone. You're kind of distracting me.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I can't put this away for a few seconds. But it's literally that. And you're not only the phone, your brain, man. Your
Mhm.
brain does
Yeah,
not turn off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what, the apps, that's what they want to do. We want to capture as much of your attention so we can sell you
Mhm.
an e-learning course, sell you my drop shipping program, how
New
you can
pair of
be
tennis shoes, whatever it is.
yes,
Yeah. So
some trees on my Amazon homes. It's crazy. But yeah. we gotta kinda rewire that, right? And it's like, then we have children, how do we make sure that they're not falling prey to that? Because like, I have a 10-year-old and he's already like, YouTube, the algorithm is so crazy how it keeps these kids engaged and, like, talks to them in a way that just wants like, it's crazy, but
Time.
how are y'all gonna keep your children from falling victim to the phone
My kids don't have
sickness that we have?
my kids don't have a phone, so it's a little easier to monitor whether they use our iPad or they use our phone. But as parents, like when we were little kids and we were in a restaurant, what were we doing when we were
Drawing,
waiting for our food?
drawing on
But
paper,
these kids,
Talking.
that's when
talking.
if as a parent, I'm not gonna lie, it's so much easier to
Oh,
hand
yeah.
my kid the
It's a
phone.
babysitter.
Yeah.
Yes, to
Yeah.
sit there while I want peace.
Yeah.
But I
So
think that's what it is now. Like you have two parents working, it's easier to hand
Mhm.
them a phone, be like, here.
Sure, yeah.
And we all know that's not the right thing.
Yes.
But like to touch on what you said initially is like, how do we fix that now? And it's really just having more time, being more
Mhm.
present.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because as busy as we are now, year after year is gonna fly by, and before you know it,
Mhm.
they are that iPad
Yeah.
baby. They are
Yeah.
on the phone. And then you look back, it was like, why is my child always on the phone? Because you were always on your phone
Yeah.
working,
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm trying to learn now is like, hey, turn it off when you're around your daughter. Like,
Yeah.
don't have your, like, he'll call me and I tell him, he's like, bro, you never answer your phone number. I say, yeah, because I'm around my daughter. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
like, I'm with my baby. Like, I don't want her to grow up like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing too is, so speaking to one of the agents, and she was having some issues with a client where she felt like the client was just very demanding and, unrespectful, like calling her early, late. But it's like we train people how we want to be treated. So if we allow people to call us at any time in the morning and hi, what can I do for you? That's how people are going to expect, to our interactions going to be. So we have to train people how we want to be treated. If you want to work within the hours of 10 to 6 or something like that, like, set those boundaries and don't allow,
Yeah.
anyone to kinda come within that. Now it's friends, family, whatever, it's different. Because now I've kinda reversed it, like, I wanna talk to my friends
yeah,
after, because now I'm relaxed, I can if you're talking to me, like, between, like, 9 to 5, like, I'm so laser focused, like, if we're not talking business, it's like, I'm kinda,
yeah.
like, listening to the personal side, but I'm like, "Alright, what's next?" You know?
That's yeah.
So it's like if we're gonna talk friendly or family, like, I wanna talk now in the evening, like, but we have to train people how we wanna be treated.
hmm I
Man,
agree.
he is the good he's great at exiting conversations.
Yeah, when I'm
Hey
done.
guys, I gotta go. Man,
Well,
you're
that's the
good.
thing is, like, people will take as much as your time as you allow. Like,
Yeah.
they just
Bro, you sound like my wife.
Yeah, no, that's one thing. Me and my partner is like, he'll take every meeting, and I'm like, he's like, oh, well, that's not worth enough to you. I'm like, honestly, bro, it's not.
Yep.
Like, I look at my time differently. Like,
Yes.
if it's not
Yes.
for a certain thing, a certain amount, I'm
Yep.
not meeting with you. Sorry,
Man.
like that's just how it is. And it's like I think I kind of over the years just taken every meeting and every
Yeah.
conversation, then it starts messing up here,
Yes.
and mentally
Yes.
draining myself. So it's like that's one thing. 2026 is like. Honestly, if it's not benefiting me, I'm not taking that meeting.
Yep.
I'm not having that
Man,
conversation.
last year, I feel like I did a lot of that, of what you're
Yeah,
saying too, and it was just, I don't wanna say it was people pleasing, but, now we are truly locked into our mission, and anything that's not putting jet fuel in that damn rocket, like,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
So, I'm with you because it's very tough initially to say no, but then it's like, once you realize, like, is this really helping what I'm doing right now? Will it help what I'm doing in a month or a year? If the answer is not a clear yes, then, we can move it around to when it's more convenient.
I suck. I used to suck at saying no.
Bro, you used to wanna have a meeting with
I took
anyone that's
every
asking.
meeting. I took every meeting, and then on top of that, I look back, and I got hit with this stress-induced inflammation, and the stress-induced inflammation because I'm trying to just say yes to
yeah,
everybody. So it's like, and when you talk about your family,
Mhm,
I had time for my family, but I was on my phone because I'm yes, 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 yes,
mhm.
and it takes your wife and your children. My oldest daughter, who's my second wife, checking you like you're always on your phone, and you like, whoa, okay, boom,
But I think you did something good in talking about delegating is and knowing strengths, weaknesses, because like 2026 for me personally and the companies that we have is all about putting the right people in place. Like we're going to take a step back on maybe taking a bonus or something like that,
Mhm.
but I'm going to bring in the smartest person I can find to fulfill this role, but
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
going to propel us to another level
Yes.
quicker than we could by just trying to make more money. Because that's not the goal, right? The goal is to build sustainable, great businesses that's going to last and be a good part of the community. Um, but you used to say yes to the meetings, and then we'd go be sitting there in, like, 5 minutes, we're like, "How the hell do we get out of here?" But now, like, he literally like, "Hey, you gotta talk to Andrew," and I say
Yeah.
no all the time, but it's
Yeah.
like you realize that you're more compassionate, you're more caring, you don't wanna hurt somebody's feelings or something, and you know
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. So it's like, I do give a shit, I don't mean to say
No,
that.
because he does, because he'll flip. We use each other, man.
Yeah,
Let's
so
just be
it's
real. It's
I think
like,
that's a good thing that you realize, like, how to. Because sometimes I'm like, "Bro, why is he texting
bro,
me?"
why
But
would you be like,
I realize
why are we at this meeting right now? And I'm like, I have no idea.
yeah, no,
So
we can't
so,
can't be
yeah,
doing that.
2026, I mean, I'm still gonna we're gonna take some meetings. We're gonna seed into others, but it's just everybody doesn't have that access to just grab, take, because that's what
Mhm.
we're in the world of now. Everybody's taking. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
What do
with
you
you.
guys think is the most rewarding thing right now in, like, your lives? Like, what do you enjoy?
I enjoy AAU games every weekend. I enjoy it. This weekend we have a break, so I do enjoy the break, but I just enjoy like watching my wife and kids have fun in whatever they're doing and enjoy, those moments.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, I'm pretty transparent. We still have our fights, we still have our arguments. We don't have this perfect family, the Brady Bunch family, but man, I enjoy just watching them enjoy what they're doing. So,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
and I guess that's why my oldest really loves basketball. So watching her enjoy it makes me enjoy it. You know what I mean? So, like I told them all the other day, I said, if you don't want to do this, I'm okay. Find something you want to do, and I'm gonna be there right for you, right there next to you.
Yeah.
So,
That's dope. What about you?
So like being able to do for others, like in my family and stuff, I think it's a
Mhm.
different why now, It's like,
Mhm.
why are you still working? I'm like, for my wife don't have to work again,
Yeah.
Why I'm up for my mom don't have, different things like that. Like last week it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and my wife's just laying on the turf with my daughter and it's like it gave me excitement because like
Yes.
oh, that's
she can
dope.
sit here on Tuesday or whatever,
Yeah.
not a care in the world.
Yeah.
But, it's like it gives me fulfillment because, I did that. I feel
Yeah.
like I did that. So, I feel like that's a good thing on my side
What
of
about you? That's
Man, I
good.
just
That's
love to
powerful though. I felt good hearing
it.
1 o'clock just laying
Well, I
out with the
think
kids.
because I think we had conversations growing up, so we want this woman to, be an entrepreneur like us and bring all this money to the table and all that. And it's like, how we started growing, it's like, you know what? Everybody's situation is different,
Yeah.
and I found like, again, my wife does own her own business. She does do real estate with y'all and things like that, but she doesn't have to do any of it. Like if
Mhm.
she wants
Mhm.
to wake up and chill in the pool, whatever, all day, she can do that, and I feel
Mhm.
like that gives me fulfillment because again, it's like she's happy, and then what happens? My daughter's happy, and then my daughter, and then my home's happy, and I
Yeah.
can continue to perform at a high level. So
Yeah. Yeah, the golden doodle's not doing that.
What
No.
about you, bro?
I would say, like, uh, just watching my son laugh is just, like, the best thing in the world.
bro, he's growing up
Like,
like a little teenager already.
yeah,
It's a
just,
little Barlow.
Yeah.
yeah, watching
Bro, I took
his
him to a
laugh.
celebration. Shout out to my guy with the 40 under 40 award. But
Thank
I
you.
took him to dinner a couple weeks ago, and it's like, I was like, y'all can get whatever you want. And then Barlow orders, I expect Barlow orders something bougie, but then London orders, she's like, oh, yeah, I'll take a ribeye on some. I'm like, bro, what? I didn't even know what that was at 9. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but
man,
no, even little
nah,
things
I
like
get it.
that, is rewarding just being able to
Yeah.
see little Barlow over there and then be able to treat them, it's kind of, that gives me excitement, so.
Man, I feel it's just important for people that are listening, man, like, I can't stress it enough that the discipline that you guys have in y'all's lives allows the freedom for others in your life. So you really have to be disciplined. It's grind, you're gonna have to work hard, you're gonna have to step up and be a man. I
Yeah.
mean, shoot, like right now, my wife, she comes from a family where the women work hard. They do a lot
Mm.
to the point that now that she's able to be at home and homeschool the kids, it's a transition in our lives, right? But at the same time, it's also a blessing. But it really has to come from that dedication, discipline, and just staying focused. Like, yeah.
You know, it's funny you say something about we're able to do for others, and I think we'd love that, right? Like,
Yeah.
just we all at the end of the day, all of our companies are built around they're all people businesses, and we can't survive without them, but I think on the other side, you know, we've dealt with, especially in the service business, is like, even though we try to always lead with love and, like, we care and have so much compassion, like, I think it's also good to talk about how many times, like, people just try to take advantage of us, try to, you know, get over on us, like, that's something that's never, like, brought out to light. How many times they try to sue us or claim they fell and all the things, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
that never comes to light. Like, I think if you just look at our social media or see us in person, it's like you're gonna get a smile, you're gonna get a hug, you're gonna get, you know, but no one ever knows, like, what we're actually dealing with on a daily basis, like, behind the scenes of, you know, store just flooded, someone just tried to rob us, someone just stole this, someone's trying to sue us
Hmm.
for trying to collect a check on, like, there's so much more to this whole game that, like, goes
Yeah.
on behind the scenes.
And I mean, y'all been pretty good at. I've seen he's been sharing it. You've been sharing it. We're sharing it with the real deal. Uh, So all they might hear where they say, "Hey, we're not just taking time to sit next to you to just give and for you to take." But if you don't have to be right next to them to get these, these tools in life. I mean, they're providing these free game online. I mean, shoot, everybody's on their phone. So it's
Mhm.
very powerful that I mean, at the end of the day, we are giving back in a sense, free information. We're not the real deal doesn't cost, your Instagram doesn't cost to watch and listen and share. So yeah, that's powerful, man. I mean, I'm sitting here like, dang, two people I've seen known you for 12, so known you for about 12 and just looking back. I keep looking back like, man, we were over here, we were doing this. He was kicking people out of house parties. That's my first impression of him was him kicking someone out of the reserve.
Oh, my apartment.
Lord, Lord.
Bro, yeah, so it's definitely powerful, man. Y'all are kudos to y'all.
So what's next, guys? Like, uh, it's been a great session. I wanna know kinda what's on the horizon. Sip It, we got Kyle opening up April 11th.
Yeah, April 11th, we just closed a new Braunfels location,
Okay,
and we're in Dallas.
All
Yeah,
down 35.
all the way down 35, like,
let's go, baby.
yeah, we're going into Dallas. I think that's a big one for me. Like, I never thought we could even
Go
and
that
now
far.
yeah, now we're there,
What part of
so it's
Dallas?
pretty we're gonna be opening up in Burleson, so right outside
Okay.
of Fort Worth,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
um, yeah, if you don't know, you better know because we're gonna be all over, so
That's right, baby. Go like, follow, share, Sip It. It's great content. Go engage in it. Maybe we'll do like a promotion for the Real Deal
yeah.
followers.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and again, Sip It's not just alcohol. We have mocktails, stuff for the kids. Um, so I just want to get that stereotype out of there. Like, you can come get something for everybody. I know there's a big health craze. I'm not drinking. All right, come get your dirty soda. Come get your your virgin drink. It's still all good. Just come support. Again, we're locally born. Again, Andrew's opened up quite a few stores himself. So I couldn't do it by myself. I have great other franchise owners, and we're just gonna continue to grow this thing. So
let's go.
yes, sir.
Alan, what's on your agenda? What are you focused on right now?
Um, the main thing is executing, and what I'm looking to execute is I don't know if we want to share it, but
No.
well, no.
We
Looking to
don't need to
execute
share.
something. I'll say, I'll be transparent. Maybe it'll hold me accountable, but we're looking to start up a development. So execute. I'm looking to find some land. I started off as a wholesaler, so I still know how to find properties off market.
I got
So
some land. Let's do
doing
it.
I'm doing it. So yeah.
Beautiful.
For all of you guys that don't know, there are 16 currently 16 locations here in San Antonio for SipIT.
Yes, sir.
And
So
so
me giving y'all special promo. You know, if you use real at checkout online at drinksipit.com or go to any location, just tell the lady at the window real, and then we'll give you a free dirty soda. So
sheesh. Let's go, baby. That's a real deal. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week with another show. Hope y'all enjoyed our guest, Bernardo Baxter. Go like, please follow, and share all this great content that he's giving out to you. Again, he's giving you a lot of free game, a guy that's in the trenches and going through it and, you know, building something really cool. So go check out SipIT. Go support. We appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Get it.